Hello everyone and welcome back to Paint With Me, and this is part 3, and as you can see off camera I did most of the stuff. Let me just pick up my camera and show you guys. It might look very weird right now, but in person, believe me, it looks way better. Like, I don't know if you can see, but when I was talking about abstract, that's what I meant, weird kind of colors with the skin. And I have paint all over me, so just don't worry about that. So I'm just set my camera back up. And yeah. So again, I'm sorry I did most of the stuff off camera. I'm just I felt more comfortable doing it off camera because it took me a very long time to complete this. And right now I'm just mostly done. I'm just coloring in the rose right now. I want to show you guys my color palette. It got way messier than it was before. Here it is. It's very messy. And now that I've almost finished this again, I see more how it did not turn out at all like the actual painting. Not the painting, the actual picture. So yeah, it looks way different. And I kind of broke my rule of not inking. I inked the eyes. And I kind of regret that because now they look very cartoony and stuff. I wanted to make this more of a realistic painting, but that didn't work out. I do not do good in realistic, I guess. So right now I'm just doing the base color of the rose red. But I will go in there and I mixed in red and black and made this brownish color. I'm going to use that to shade it. And that's what I used to shade the lips too. So I basically just, to finish up the skin, I basically just, I went over it with a bunch of shades like blue. I went over it with white and red at the tip of the nose, I highlighted. And a tip I want to say for when you're painting is if you've ever done makeup before, to help you while you're painting, you can just think of where you would put the highlight. You would put on the tip of the nose, in the inner corner of the eyes, cheekbones, so if it helps you at all, think about when you're putting on makeup, where would the highlight go, where would the contour go, the shade. And yeah, and again, no one really gets something at their first try, so it takes a long time to get stuff correctly. As you can see, even my painting does not look good. To be honest, I do not like how it turned out. I just wish at least I haven't inked the eyes. That would have made it a little better. I kind of broke my own rule. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the rose is done now. I'm just shading the very edges of it. Just like that. And I'm pretty sure that it's done. I've never really painted a rose before, so that's why it probably does not look too bad. I meant too good, but yeah. I'm just gonna wash my brush. And yeah. So then I'm also going to color the sweater black. I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe doing it even yellow, but I'm not sure because I want a different contrast in my drawing, so we'll see. So now, I'm thinking, okay, so I thought a lot, and I think that I'm going to do yellow for the sweater. And the background noises, again, sorry, my friend is playing, and, a bunch of people are talking in the game, so, yeah, sorry for the background noises. I just begged him to turn it off, but, of course, he would never do that. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to need a new palette because this one is obviously destroyed. I'm going to need to clean it, wash it off and stuff, because I do like to reuse them. So now I'm going to use just this bigger plastic piece. Really, that's all I use. And yeah, so to do that, I'm just going to get my yellow color, and then I'm going to mix different colors together, the yellow with a bit of black, and the yellow with a bit of brown. So I made different dots of yellow because this one I'm just going to leave as it is. This one I'm going to mix in a little black, this one mix in a little bit of brown, and this one mix in a little bit of white, just to make it, lighter. So yeah. So first I'm going to get my black, and if I zoomed out my camera, you would see that, like, my place that I'm using right now, it's so messy, like, seriously. So messy. Okay. I made a really big mess with these paints. Now I'm just going to add a tiny dot of black, because whenever I do this, I always end up adding way too much black, and then the whole entire thing just turns into brown. And I hate when that happens. I'm just going to use, like, the other side of my paintbrush to mix it together, and then I'm probably going to end up adding more black, as always. Or not, actually. No, I think that this is pretty good. As you can see, I added, like, such a tiny little dot, and it's still turning out to be, like, so dark. I'm probably not even going to use this. Yeah, I'm probably going to use the one with the brown, because this looks more like green now. Oh, how pleasant is that? It looks like an ugly green, Those very ugly greens. And now my friend's just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, so please just ignore that, okay? Just a bunch of stupid background noises. Okay, and then I'm going to take some burnt umber, or not, I don't know, wait, actually this is a very dark brown, so I'm trying to see if I can find something else. I don't know, no, I'm just going to use this. As you can see, it's a very dark brown, so actually I'm going to mix my own, never mind. Yeah, so to mix your own brown, it's going to be like a little bit of a tutorial. So wait, first let me like split this, because there's a lot of green getting onto it and I do not like that. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to split it in half because there's a lot of green getting here and I don't like the green. It's ugly. Okay, so now I'm going to add, so what you need is a dot of yellow, a dot of red, and a dot of blue. Now you want to make sure that they're like equal parts. I'm going to take some, not blue, but in my kit it's like ultramarine, but it's still blue. It's really blue. Okay, and then just a dot of blue. The more blue you add, the more purplish it'll get, so if you don't want it to be too purple, don't add that much blue. You really just want to mix it in with equal parts. Right now I'm just cleaning off my little brush. Okay. And now we're going to mix all these together. And at the beginning it might not look like it's going to turn into a brown, but just wait and it will. Okay. And now it's turning into a brown. It looks a little more like a purple. Like it has a purple undertone, I feel like. As you can see, it turned into a brown. I don't know if you can see too much on camera, but in real life, it's a brown. So then after that, I'm just going to add a dot of this. I need another dot of yellow because I used yellow for that one. So then I'm just going to add another dot of yellow. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that brown to the yellow. Just like so. I'm going to mix it together. And now we have like a darker yellow I can use for the sweater. As you can see, darker yellow. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of white to the other yellow. Okay, there we go. Looks more like a mustard shade. Like if it was actually a paint shade, I would call it mustard. Yeah. So I did that. And now I'm going to try to clean my paintbrush because it's so dirty. Okay. Okay, and yeah, so now I'm just going to add a dot of white to this yellow to make it a bit lighter, so like to make a lighter shade, and yeah, I'm just going to use this white right here. I'm just going to add a dot of that to this yellow, And that was way too much, but that's alright. We'll just have a very light yellow to work with. And then I'm just going to mix it together like this. And now we have much of a lighter yellow. But it's, oh my god, for some reason it's still like that one, so I think I'm gonna have to add more white. That's the weird thing, it still looks like, you know, it did, so I'm gonna add a bigger dot of that. I'm sorry, my camera's like zooming in and out a lot, it's just what it does. It might look weird. Okay, that will have to do, it's a little lighter than the original color, but it's mostly the same. Yeah, that was not a good idea. Okay, and now I'm just going to put this down as the base color. Or no, this down as the base color. And I'm not going to add any water to that because whenever I do that, it usually messes up everything. So now I'm just going to like not dryly, that's not really a word, but you know what I mean, just like kind of dry brush it on. Because I really want the sweater to have like a rough look to it, you know, like a sweater. But like when you're painting with oils and it has that nice rough look to it, and I really like how that looks like, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of like, I really do not care about this brush, so I can do whatever I want to it. Yeah. I'm just going to, you know, do this. And I'm using a small brush because I really want like the brush strokes to be shown. I'm basically just doing like circle brush strokes. I don't know how you call those, but you know. And yeah, I did use a lot of paint, but that is because I want it to be nice and textured. So whenever you want that, you want to use a lot of paint. And I'm just gonna dip my thing in a little bit of that green I made and make like a different shade over here. Just like that. I'm just like changing the shade to this side. And then at the end I'm going to do more texture to the sweater, like add more texture onto it, you know, and make it look like it's actually like sewn, you know, fabric. At least I tried to do that, I'll try. So yeah, and now I'm just doing the same exact thing and it's taking so long, guys, sorry about that. And again, it's very important to do like these circly strokes, that's how I'm gonna call it. Because then like there's little places where there's white, and I think that it looks pretty cool, so yeah. And at the end of this video, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like, you know, it. At the end of this video, I'll be sure to show you the finished, like, thing. Okay, and now I'm done with like the base of the sweater. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of the like mustardy color and I'm gonna add it to the very edge of the sweater just to make a little more contrast there. And this time I'm just doing up and down strokes, you know, just like in every direction. And I never wait for the paint to dry, because I just like the look of how it just mixes together and like it kind of blends together almost. Like, you know, when you're using alcohol-based markers, you lay down two colors and they kind of blend together. That's the look I'm going for. So that's why I'm doing this sort of thing. So yeah, I never wait for the paint to dry for some reason. You know, partly because I'm lazy and impatient, and partly because I want the look of this. And now I'm just going in with the circly strokes just to like blend the two colors in like I was talking about. Just like that. And I'm going to take more of the yellow, and I feel like this green is too green, so I'm just going to like try to blend it in better. Okay, and now I'm gonna take like the darkest brown that I made, and I'm gonna put it on the very, very edge of the sweater. Okay, and then I'm gonna go on this side, on the other side, and I'm gonna take the mustardy color, and I'm going to like dry brush it on. Mix it in with a little bit of the brown and the yellow and the green, just like all the colors mixed together. Okay, and as you can see, it might look like I'm damaging this brush. That's the look I'm going for, just like, you know, very messy, almost abstract. And I'm just gonna take what's left on the brush, and I'm just going to blend it into the rest of the yellow on the sheet. Sorry this thing is shaking so much, I'm just adding a lot of pressure to blend everything in. Okay, I'm just going to add more of that darker brown on the very edge. And yeah, I'm just going to do circle strokes just to blend it in with the mustard color, just like that. And then I'm going to go in over here. I'm going to take my pencil to kind of sketch where I want the line to be, like, you know, the neckline or whatever. And I'm just going to do that so I know where it is. And then I'm going to take this brown on my palette and I'm going to run it across that line I made with my pencil, just so that we know where it is. And then to kind of give it dimension, like, you know, where the neckline is, where the little thing is, like it's folded over, we want it to have a thicker like outline than the rest of the sweater. Then I'm just going to lightly brush that in, and I'm going to take a little more yellow just to fill in the edge over here. And I'm just going to like blend the edges in because I don't want it to look like just one straight line. I just want it to look like part of the sweater shadow. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to take the brown again, like the darker brown, and then I'm going to go across this edge, the top edge of the sweater, just to, again, like, kind of give it dimension almost, just like that. Kind of dry brush it on there. And then I'm going to take that brown again on my brush, and I'm going to, like, give the top, like the very top part of the sweater, like those little lines that you see, like on those sweaters that kind of have the fold over thing on the top. And then don't worry, they're not going to be this like dark, you know. I'm going to try to blend them into the actual yellow. So then I'm going to dry off my brush on my little paper towel. And I'm going to use my circle strokes to kind of blend in those lines so they don't look so, like, you know, perfect and stuff. Just like that. And then I'm going to take more of my yellow and run it kind of over this because it seems a little darker than the rest of the sweater. And then I'm just going to add, like, my mustardy color and all the colors mixed together and just kind of give the sweater more dimension by in some parts, like adding a darker, you know, shade and stuff. So I'm literally just mixing all the colors together. And going over some parts of the sweater and giving it little fold-y looks. Like it's folding. And yeah. And yeah, that's just what I'm doing. I'm gonna take a little more of the brown and then just go over here, just like that. And at this point, I'm not really looking at my reference. I'm just like making up my own stuff. Yeah, so I think I'm pretty much done with the sweater. As you can see, I don't know if the camera is too zoomed in to pick this up, but that's okay. I'll just show you how it looks like at the end. So yeah, it's my sweater. Done with that. And now, as I told you guys, I try not to use, like, you know, liner and stuff, but of course that failed. But on the sides of the face, I still want it to be like, I still want the face to have dimension and like for it to be easy to tell like where the edges of it are. So I'm going to take that darker brown that we mixed. I'm going to take a clean brush. I'm actually going to take this very cheap brush, and some people might ask, like, why do you like it? It's seriously just like these strong plastic fibers. It is, but I like to use this brush as like to stipple, you know, just like to stipple on, because I don't really care about it, and seriously the fibers are basically just like plastic. I think it came in like a Crayola watercolor brush set. Yeah, and I'm just going to dip that into the brown, and I know I said I'm done with the sweater, but none of us are perfect, so then I'm just going to take that little stipper, and I'm just going to basically just stipple on that brown onto the sweater, just to give it that more of like, I don't know how to say this, but a hairy look. Like, you know, sweaters are made out of fibers and stuff, and that's what I want the look to be like. You know, to kind of stipple that on. And that's why I really like this brush. And don't get me wrong, I know it looks pretty ruined right now, but believe me, it just gets back to its normal form after you're done with it. And yeah. Then I'm going to pick up some of that green we got and do the same thing onto the sweater. Again, it's just to give it that like fibery look. Like, it has some fibers on it and stuff. This is how it looks like. It looks pretty messy, but I don't know why, I just really like that look. And when at this camera angle, the face and like all the proportions might be off, and it probably looks very weird, so just don't mind that. Okay, and now, as I was saying, I'm going to do the outline of the face, and I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to dip it into my water just to like wash the excess paint off that was on there, and then I'm going to kind of form it like I was saying. Then I'm going to dip it into that brown we mixed for the sweater, the dark brown, and then I'm going to just go around the edges of the face and kind of dryly just rub that on. I just want it to be there so that you notice it, but so it's not like overpowering the whole entire picture. And I think I'm just going to do it like at the top of the face where the shadows might be, just over here. And then I'm going to kind of like, you know, make it darker at the top, but then like make it lighter when it gets to the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same on the chin, because you can kind of see like the pencil lines that I did. So I'm just going to make those a little darker and like kind of cover up the pencil marks that I got. Okay, I'll take more brown and run it across there. I'm going to take more of the brown, and I'm going to go around, like not around, but you know, outside of the neck, just like this. And then I'm going to, and yeah, I'm just going to go around like this. Clean my brush. And yeah, I just washed my brush, and I'm going to go underneath the chin again, just darken up that more a bit. But I just really want that shadow to be there. And now I'm going to take the brown again, but a little less of it, and then outline this side of the face. Then I'm just going to go across this side of the face, just like so. Go a little darker on this side. I'm just going to take my finger and kind of like blend that in, you know. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and stipple the paper towel on top of it just so it becomes a little lighter. Just like so. Just kind of press it in. I don't want to rub it because then the color will be everywhere. See, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same, like I'm going to go a little further down here. And we're going to actually do that again. And this time I'm just going to rub it because it's basically dry. And yeah, and then I also want there to be kind of a shadow at the top of my painting. So I'm going to take some of the brown that we mixed again, and we are going to just go at the top, and we are going to kind of give it more of a shadow so it stands out a little more, just like so. And then we're just going to tap it off with a paper towel, just like this. Just like so. And there we go. Now I just have to paint in, you know, the background, that kind of stuff. And I think I'm just going to end my video right here. And yeah, see you.